Alright, new week, new modern. This is the first week where Modern Horizons 2 is legal, though I'm not sure we're actually going to be seeing any Modern Horizons 2 cards for this week. On the left, we have our Modern Master for the week, Rink. He is playing a version of Death Shadow that I'm not too familiar with. It's technically Grixis, but it's more akin to the Rakdos versions we've been seeing recently. So we'll have to see how that one turns out. His opponent for the first round is Joris, who's just playing good old Jund. Plain regular Jund. Rink starting us off with a Dragon Rage Channeler. Now, I forget, was that already in Strixhaven, or is that actually a Modern Horizons 2 card? See, this is the problem with Wizards just pumping out sets every other month. It's just, you kind of lose it in the blur of it all. But anyway, there it is. For those of you who need a reminder of what it actually does, it is a 1 mana 1/1. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you Surveil 1. And when you have Delirium, it becomes a 3/3 flyer, but it must attack each turn if able. Yours choosing to get rid of it immediately during Ring's end step, it seems, and then going for a Tarmogoyf. Just standard Jund things. That Tarmogoyf is looking like a 3/4 right now, so it's out of bolt range. Yeah, Rink playing a deck that, well, I've never seen him play this. Maybe he's played more of this, but usually we see him on either a As Foretold deck, or traditionally I remember him on a what was that again? And Soul Artifact deck. So that has been a while. Ring casting Inquisition decides to take a Liliana, and we have Culligan's Command, and I just missed what that last one was. A Croaks are coming out from Joris, or you occasionally see from Jund. I'm still not really convinced on it, but I'll trust his judgment on that then. Ring decides to discard a Scourge of the Skyclaves. Let's see, we have creature, artifact, instant, sorcery, land, planeswalker. That is a big hit. That is a really big hit. And if Rink doesn't deploy a threat, then we might be looking at game 2 already. So I would imagine Jund having a relatively good matchup against Death Shadow, maybe against some of the more nut draws, like a fast threat with a Teamer Battle Rage. It could be rough, but Jund having plenty of disruption. Now, Ring here playing a expressive iteration. I'll look at the top 3 cards of his deck. One in his hand, one into exile, and one on the bottom. And then whatever is in exile he can play this turn. So ideally he'd find the land here. Actually still play something, like a blocker would be nice. Maybe a removal spell for the Tarmogoyf. Yeah, so exiling, Polluted Delta. Death Shadow doesn't mind taking damage. It minds taking lethal damage, though, very much. This is not ad nauseum we're playing. Ring fetching. I would imagine just a basic here. Yeah, basic swamp. Then a Death Shadow here. Most like no, an Inquisition. Taking Assassin's Trophy, leaving Joris with 2 Kolaghan's commands. But now that is a big Tarmogoyf. Instant sorcery creature. Yeah, no, that's too much. It's too much. And Brink just not finding an opportunity to put a threat into play. Game 2, both players going to 6. Rink on the play decides to play Sculling Tarn into a Blood Crypt. And really, we're just seeing why Jund has existed for as long as it has. Just consistent results over the past years. Being able to disrupt, pressure, just play everything. You have a fatal push taking care of the Dragon Race Channeler. Inquisition coming out from Rink reveals 2 Verdant Catacombs, 2 Lilianas, and a Tarmogoyf. That is not what you want to see. Liliana gonna be able to take care of pretty much any threat Rink can deploy here. Tarmogoyf, probably the card you should be least worried about at this point. Maybe not. I'm not sure. I mean, it is a clock, and you are kind of damaging yourself mostly, so also a terrific turn 2 play, and it does buy Ring a couple of turns, hopefully. Shocks a Watery Grave at Joris's end step. And Jund gonna Jund, I guess. People used to say that Jund has no bad matchups. Now, that's not entirely true. I believe Tron was maybe not the best matchup. Certainly, Niftalite is a terrible matchup for Jund. But Death Shadow is looking pretty good here. Ring fetching a Steam Vents and decides to pick up Lurus, hoping that he can just play through the edicts, but he actually needs a threat to actually force the edict. Like, Joris needs to actually play the Liliana, and if Ring doesn't actually play a threat, then why would he? I mean, he could just to keep plussing, but not really any pressure for him to play the Lily, I assume. He's thinking about it, though, looks like. Can't quite make out what that draw is. I think it might be Ashiok. If that is, I'm not sure why that's actually in there. I mean, you can exile your opponent's graveyard to invalidate Lurus. That is true. Yeah, it is Ashiok. He's gonna mill Ring for 4, and exile is great. No, he's gonna mill himself for 4. Looks like. Yeah, he's targeting himself. We see Nurturing Peatland, Verdant Catacombs, a Dark Confidant, and a Wren in 6. That's probably not the greatest of mills. Also not the worst. And Rink now spinning his tires. Which, is he keeping mana open for something? I see a bobble. He has Luris. Gonna cast an expressive iteration. Yeah. This might be rough. We see Inquisition of Kozilek being... No, wait, that's a Thoughtseize. My bad. Gonna cast the Thoughtseize. Go to 9. And I think Rink just needs to play a threat. Plays the bauble. Looks at Eurus' top card. Can't quite see what that is. And passes turn, still not doing anything. I think I see a Scourge in his hand, and now Liliana coming down from Joris, and I think Rink is just out of gas. Discards a Drown in the lock. And that's not looking good. That's not looking good for Rink. A Drown would have been real nice countering Liliana, and instead gets discarded. We have Expressive Iteration coming out again. Now, that Drown, I think may have been the add to hand from Expressive Iteration. Otherwise, I wouldn't know why Rink didn't just keep his mana open, expecting the Liliana. So, Rink plays the bauble. Targets Joris. Casts another Thoughtseize. Joris losing the second Liliana, but still has the first one. Okay, now targets Rink with the mill. And we see a Death Shadow among them. Also Stubborn now, so I feel like this is just mostly an older style of just traditional Grixis Shadow, but also playing Scourge, also playing Expressive Iteration, and I believe I did see Sprite Dragon earlier. Actually, I see Sprite Dragon right now. I think he's holding 2 of them. I think he needs to start playing at least one of them. It taps his mana, plays the bauble first, and then drops Luris. I do agree with starting off Luris, because Luris doesn't really do that much, but it does force Joris to actually get rid of it, which he does. You kind of have to start brute forcing the Liliana, I think. Bloodbraid Elf coming out from Joris. That's gonna be a lightning bolt. That's kind of dangerous. Swings in. Rink going to 1. Joris gonna exile that graveyard, answer the lures. We also have another threat, another Sprite Dragon being exiled. And Rink is at 1. He needs a creature. He needs an answer for the Blood Braid. Right now. Time to start playing. Your moment to shine. And Brink decides enough is enough. And concedes the match.